Alright, I'm over at Jeff Berwick's YouTube channel, The Dollar Vigilante, and goes on this video saying, Jeff Berwick on freedom loving, escaping the US collapse. Now, I do believe that we are going to have problems with fiat money down the road. Now the question is when. And yes, Jeff Berwick and I may agree on that. However, Jeff Berwick saying get out of the United States, right? And all I'm saying is, hey, be prepared for whatever may come, right? I'm not saying to leave your place that you're living in right now. But anyways, I wanted to go to one article that I actually found via John Manfreda, or this topic that I'm going to talk about. So props to John for catching this out. Alright, and I go to this one article by Wendy McElroy. This individual is an anarchist. You could find her bio at Wikipedia to learn more about her. But let's go through this article and how it relates to Jeff Berwick and his deal with moving individuals to Chile, or getting involved in this sort of business. It's really interesting. I haven't seen much coverage on it in the alternative media. Many have wondered about the status of Galt Gluch, Chile, the libertarian community that was planned and sold in lots as a liberty oasis for those who have wished to live freedom before they died. My husband and I purchased an option on 1.25 acres in July 2013. Others bought 10 to 25 acre lots, and some invested in the agricultural side of the venture. Extremely savvy investors committed small fortunes. GGC has been an unexpectedly wild ride since then. Shortly after purchasing, I received an unsigned email through the web form of a site I maintain, informing me that GGC was a fraud. One reason GGC lacked water rights. In Chile, purchasing service land and water rights are two separate processes. GGC's desert terrain, rather like California, and water rights are absolutely necessary for a community to be established. I responded to the email, but the message bounced back to me. I did a search on the email's IP address and became apparent the sender hadn't used an anonymizer. For the email to two joint owners of GGC, Jeff Berwick and Ken Johnson. Jeff was and still a trusted friend. I did not know Ken. My inquiry was not hostile, but stirred quite a reaction from Ken. They immediately recognized the source as a former employee who threatened to tell people like me about the problem if they did not pay him hush money. The emailer was also an old movement acquaintance of mine. Fast forward through many unpleasant details. The man was paid off. GGC acquired more land which had water rights that were both attached and transferable. A GGC celebration was held in November 2013. The alleged purpose was for people to finalize the selection of lots and other paperwork. No selection took place because no zoning permits had been obtained. A GGC celebration was held this April. My husband and me in attendance. Indeed, I was the opening speaker. The alleged purpose was for people to finalize the selection of lots and other paperwork. No selection took place because no zoning permits had been obtained. Unbeknown to most purchasers, dramatic changes had occurred behind the scenes. Through maze-like transfers of cash and authority, Jeff Berwick was shoved out of the project and Ken Johnson was in control. I have sorted out most of the obfuscating tangle, and I may be writing a history of the matter. For the moment, suffice to say, there is basis for various lawsuits. Some are being pursued. There will be no zoning for the 1.25 acre lots or other arrangements of less than 10 acres. Lots over 10 acres are beyond my ken. GGC is an environmentally protected area. It would take the political movement of heaven and earth to allow a community based on small lots to be officially approved. The opportunity to ask a question of the salesman who showed me, my husband, our property. I claimed it because I fell head over heels for the most beautiful tree I've ever seen. I felt an instant connection, as though the two of us were old souls who had found each other. I could believe it, I could see it, waking up each morning and having coffee under that tree, telling it plans for the day. Months later in a Skype conference, I asked the then GGC alienated salesman, when you sold us the property, when you printed out a photo from your photo that read Wendy's Tree, did you know you could not legally sell us the lot you were offering? He said, that is correct. Suppose there is some comfort in being fleeced in good company, in being in the company of some of the smartest businessmen of the movement. I'm not reassured. Perhaps because I'm an Irish peasant, and what reassures me is owning the land under my feet. But something reassuring is happening. For a few months now, what I call the founding fathers have been trying to purchase all rights to GGC and to reboot. It is not just a financial investment to them. They want to live in a community with like-minded people. They want the promise of freedom. I don't know if they can succeed, but I can support them. There are genuine problems that should discourage all and any from currently investing in GGC. For example, and just one of many examples, GGC owes immense debts to vendors in the closest town of Kurokave. Brad and I spent 2 weeks there and fell in love with the people, the town, the experience, but GGC owes hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s to hardware stores, service providers, ordinary Chileans who are acutely harmed by a project's malfeasance. They will be and should be first in line for repayment from any legal actions. GGC is heavily encumbered with no good outcome in the near future. So there you have it, right? We know that Jeff Berwick was associated in some way, shape, or manner with this company, GGC, right? But he wrote about this in an article on his website, the Dollar Vigilante blog, and you just skim through it, and basically he's saying that he screwed up, right? I think there are a lot of things behind the scenes that we don't know about, and this one individual, Ken, I really don't know what happened on my end reading through this, but once again, this is a lesson for all you preppers and individuals that have problems living in the Western world, and I do as well. If you're going to move out of this country, you better be damn sure to know what you're getting involved in, because remember, you're going into a foreign country, leaving the country that you lived in, right? Where there are definitely problems, but at the same time, look at what happened here. This looks like a huge mess. So I think he's working behind the scenes to try to solve the problem. He knew about some of the issues down the road, but now it's coming public because you're seeing more of these articles come out, or a lot of people are talking about this. So, long story short, if you are going to move out of this country, be very careful. And remember, there are many people in the alternative movement. So, whenever you're investing in whatever, always do your due diligence. Remember my older videos? Always do your own homework. And thing is, there are definitely scams in the alternative media, just like anywhere else. Just, number one, don't put your money blindly like I have in the past and have gotten burned. This is the lesson for all of us, especially for some of you newbies out there. And if you want to look at Jeff Berwick, I mean, wasn't he part of this finance symposium? Whatever it was, Liberty Mastermind Symposium, Jeff Berwick. So this individual, right, he attended this conference because he was probably one of the prominent speakers over there, and all of a sudden he has this blow up in his face. I mean, don't get me wrong, he has made quite some money over time, but when you see a successful person like this have this blow up in his face, well, all of us should learn from that. Alright guys, if you have any more details on what's going on with this situation, post it in the video below. Tell me what you think, and also a few other things. I tried to bring Jeff Berwick on a few years ago. He wouldn't come on. And I talked to some other individuals, and they have YouTube channels, and they said that I wouldn't want to deal with this guy, bringing him on as a guest, but whatever. Just throwing it out there. And once again, thanks to John Manfreda for actually giving me attention to this, or telling me about this. Alright guys, thanks for listening. Talk to you later, and be careful.